Blue Lock Chapter 345 has just released. Isagi's awakening is finally here as the end of the France game is closing in. Hugo and Isagi face off one more time. We get hints at other players' awakenings too as Blue Lock continues their final counter. I can't believe we're nearing the end of the game and we are feasting on a back-to-back amazing chapters, so let's not waste any more time and jump into it quick. The chapter picks up with Isagi having the ball right in front of Hugo. It's time for the inevitable rematch, and I know Isagi fans have been waiting for this one. Hugo, staring at him, is surprised at Isagi's expression changing, saying he feels an immeasurable swell of concentration coming from Isagi. Isagi is no longer in the white hair mode, but his metavision eyes activate as he grits his teeth to face off against Hugo. And in the next page, we see Hugo literally standing in front of him like the final obstacle. And you know, when the two biggest yappers are about to face off, we're gonna get a ton of dialogue, and we immediately see that with Hugo analyzing Isagi's play, trying to understand how he managed to intercept the ball. He believes that Isagi determined Blue Lock's attack wouldn't work and tried to get the second ball instead, and that's when Hugo's gear eyes appear too, anticipating Isagi's next play. Hugo says a shot from here is too far and wonders if he will dribble up himself or use a forward pass to one of the three players up front, as we see Rin, Shido, and Barou in front of him. So a lot of decisions on the board here, and I'm loving this matchup so far because we're finally getting the chess match of predicting each other's plays instead of Hugo just smoking Isagi. We see Hugo posed up like he's nice like that, doing his signature 2 fingers, telling Isagi to bring it on, wondering which destiny will he choose, as Isagi starts running towards him with one metavision eye activated. Isagi for real pulled out the Sharingan with that one eye metavision design, but passes to the side, taking Hugo off guard, and one can say Isagi dodged the fade. What's important though is that Karasu is the one who got the ball to everyone's surprise. Even Karasu didn't expect this, just peep bro's face. He wonders what Isagi is doing, and the next page shows him saying, "Come on, fellow second best." What's going on here exactly, I don't really know, because even Gagamaru and Aiku are in shock. Hiyori calls out that they're cooperating now and wonders if Isagi is planning to enter the system built around Karasu, as we see a crow made out of puzzle pieces flying above Isagi. And this right here is beautiful to me, the crow design, and Isagi cooking something up by entering the Karasu system, because we know from last chapter he was talking about devouring the number 1 and being a rebel, so we know he's about to cook soon, and Karasu smiles along with Isagi's plan, saying even the Demon King came down to me. And whoa, let's not be rash here, Karasu. This is crazy wording for one singular play. I know the Isagi haters are laughing seeing this. He tells Isagi, let's go extraordinary second best, and we see a 2v2 between Karasu and Isagi versus Hugo and Charles, with Karasu hitting a quick pass to Isagi, and Isagi 1-2s it back to him as he goes behind Charles. The crow feathers and puzzle pieces flying everywhere too are just a nice touch, and now we got past Hugo and Charles, which deserves a round of applause because the France team didn't expect this at all, with Charles looking back and calling out the 1-2 pass, Layden asking what's going on, and Gavin says ad-lib a defense, they're trying to charge up the center. But in the next page, we see the biggest crash out in all of Blue Lock, because Itoshi Rin is here looking back at Isagi and Karasu's play, calling out Isagi, saying that he decided coordinating with him wasn't working, so he switched over to Karasu. And because of this, we see Rin's Destroyer Mode eyes activate, and he says, "How dare you try to cut me?" And as a Rin fan, I'm hyped to see Rin finally lock in, but this low-key comedy. Rin, unfortunately, was ghost this whole game, but the second Isagi chooses someone else, he turns on Destroyer Mode, veins popping and everything, got him looking like Thrag. When did they turn my boy into a yandere? I get he's a restrictive type ego, but it's still just funny to see. Anyways, we see the 90 minutes are up already, and how the hell 15 minutes passed in like 5 pages, the world may never know, but we see 2 minutes of additional time specifically. Shigiri from the bench is yelling like Ichigo, telling the guys to get up there. Batra is here too, telling everyone it's their last chance to score, and this is giving me U20 vibes, showing the bench hyping up the team too. Even the commentator is yelling too, saying only 2 more minutes of added time left on the clock. Will France's Kings run out the clock, or will the Blue Lock Japan challengers catch up? As Karasu is running up with the ball, we see everyone gathering in front of him for both defense and offense, and Isagi is moving forward too, with Hugo right behind him. He tells Isagi that he's been waiting for this moment, commenting that it was his destiny for him to commit to being the team's number 2. Then questioning if Isagi understands why he's been guiding him and Japan to their true suitability. We get more Hugo yap, with him saying his dream is winning the World Cup 4 times. And in order to do that, he needs the France team to keep leveling up by fighting stronger rivals. In other words, he needs all the world's football players to follow their destinies. So in a nutshell, Hugo just did what Isagi did in the Nigeria match, motivating the team, leading them a certain way, all for the France's team's evolution, and ultimately to achieve his own dream, which again is some Aizen levels of manipulation. This man, whenever he talks, is scary, man. He really brought out the best in everyone to make him even better. This the same energy as Noel Noah making Kaiser his rival. And in the next page, Hugo's robot aura has taken over. Nah, flag on play! Are we looking at this properly? Hugo really out here moving like Cyborg. This cannot be allowed, dog. The stuff they're letting out on the field is crazy. Isagi to his side can't believe what he is witnessing right now, and Hugo tells Japan that they pass. Now, let's reach our true ending in the showdown between teams of perfect suitability. At the bottom too, we see Isagi grit his teeth, and the Metavision eyes are activated as well. Here we go, y'all. Lock in. The final plays are here. We see Hugo move off of Isagi and towards Karasu, but before he can get there, Karasu, blocking one defender, chooses to pass it towards his side. It lands to none other than Hiyori, who has Camus on him, but he blocks him with one hand too and sends the ball away again towards Isagi, who immediately hits it towards Atoya, and he says K, as he passes it to his side once more with Karasu there, dodging 2 defenders. Karasu, looking around for more options, sees Isagi going through the back door and sends a pass to him, dodging Moist Critical. And Isagi gives it right back to Karasu, going behind Camus. The levels of dodging and weaving we are witnessing here, folks, is on par with the best fighting movies. And it continues with the Crow receiving the ball and putting his hand forward. It then jumps to Hiyori commenting on how BLUELOCK is amazing. With Isagi making connections on par with Karasu, they've entered a new dimension. And Karasu hits the meanest weave we've ever seen by turning with the ball and getting past Camus, doing bro absolutely dirty, because he looks like he's not even aware of what's happening. This was just the cherry on top to an already good attack, and Karasu says, "Here it comes extraordinary," as he sends the ball back once again towards Hiyori, which takes Hiyori by surprise, wondering why Karasu is switching here. It's 28 yards to the goal, so he can shoot, and then Karasu holds back Chappa and bats just like before. Hiyori realizes that this is the same shooting chance as before, but says it's even better than before as he looks around the field and sees he has a passing option to Shido or barou. There are a ton of scoring options. Karasu has created the most optimal situation, with him telling Hiyori to now choose, and Hiyori trying to make a decision on his best choice, both with Metavision eyes activated. But that's when the squad of the best players pull up, because Hugo goes on barou saying don't think about it, he'll crush him, and Charles goes on Shido saying he'll take him on. And for Hiyori, a new challenger approaches, because we see Loki start making a beeline straight towards him, saying you may have more options, but in the end, you're nothing but uncoordinated, egotistical rabble. Dog, Loki in these last 3 chapters has been moving different. Listen, if I was playing and I see in the corner of my eye this running at me with full speed, I'm already accepting my fate. We then get a close-up of Loki's face with the instinct eyes, telling Hiyori, if we keep you from making individual goals, you're utterly screwed. And the look on Karasu's face just says it all, and Hiyori is beyond bamboozled, saying no way. With Loki, Hugo, and Charles' individual abilities, one snap judgment was enough to shut them down. Hiyori then wonders what level the France team is on and wants to take a shot, but realizes they're ready for the shot, ultimately coming to the conclusion he took too long to decide, as Loki slides right in front of him and gets straight to aura farming, saying game over. Never never have I ever seen a lock-in this hard this fast, because we were only worrying about Hugo a few chapters back. Now Loki's literally the final obstacle, saying game over. Hiyori's face of absolute shock about sums up this defense right now. But when all hope seems lost, a foot in the corner of the page takes one giant step. And Isagi Yoichi appears in his white hair mode again. He's here, y'all. He's actually doing it. I can't get over this design. It's way too hype anytime we see it. Got me feeling like it's my birthday. The puzzle pieces are flying everywhere. The eye design, everything is beautiful here. As he calls out to Hiyori, which got Hiyori with the question mark with 2 exclamation points. We get a close-up of Isagi's eyes with him yelling to pass it, you major sadist. But Hiyori just says Isagi's name. Hugo with his gear cog eye is shown too, which I got a bad feeling about. But the chapter ends off there. All right, so a pretty fast chapter, I must say. We went through that really quickly. A lot of build up towards the next chapter, which might be the final chapter of the game. Start to finish, they did a really good job of building up the penultimate chapter or chapters of this match. We had a tease of a Rin's Destroyer mode. Isagi's white hair mode is here too. Hugo's eye appearing when Isagi is there is pretty scary. So let's break it down each one by one. Rin, I think, will be a key factor for the ending of this game because they were obviously building something up with him entering Destroyer mode. That was the funniest part of the chapter because Isagi choosing Karasu is what sent him into Destroyer mode, not anything else that's happening in the France game. It is kind of weird because he was able to use it during the Nigeria match with no pressure at all, and it was all about letting go of his impediments like Isagi and Itoshi Sai. I understand that Rin is a restrictive ego type, so he does better under pressure. He does better in circumstances like getting removed from the team or Isagi abandoning him, but it's still funny to see. And words can't describe how hype it will be to see both white hair Isagi and Destroyer mode Rin on the same panel, if they do appear on the same panel, because during PXG those were some of the best panels in the whole entire manga. But anyways, with Rin and Isagi both in their best states, what do I think will happen? Honestly speaking, I feel like this ending might be one of the most unpredictable so far because there are so many different ways the game can end. Some people are saying Isagi scores, some people are saying Rin is gonna score, some people are saying Hugo is gonna block it, and Loki scores. There are so many different ways that this game can end, either in a tie or a loss, which makes it super unpredictable. The way I see it though is this is giving it Manshine vibes in the way that Isagi is choosing to be a rebel and going against the number 1 rather than score a goal. He did the same thing with winning against Kaiser in the Manshine game and giving the ball to Yukimiya for his goal. As a Rin fan, I've been saying he's gonna score for the longest time now, and with his Destroyer mode here, I should be super confident, but Hugo's eye in that last panel makes me scared, man. He might be up to some shenanigans. In general though, I think what we should really be paying attention to is Charles and Loki, because they haven't had one chemical reaction yet when the whole point of Charles's character was to be a passer for Loki. And even though there's only 2 minutes left on the clock, we've seen last minute goals before. Isagi scored in 1 minute during the Nigeria match, going up the whole entire field, and the star change timer that was 3 minutes lasted 7 chapters long during the NEL. So I truly think we'll see a last second chemical reaction between Charles and Loki. It's been hinted at for this whole entire game, and that's how France comes out on top. Narratively, I don't think it makes any sense for them to draw here. This is literally the only place they can take a loss, so why not do it against the strongest U20 team? The biggest thing though is it would make the England game obsolete with less stakes, so I think France will win this match regardless of Isagi and Rin scoring or not. Keep in mind folks, there are only 2 more chapters left until the end of this volume, so the max amount of chapters this game can extend to is 2 chapters, or it could literally end in the next one. So these last few chapters are about to be insane. It's been a wild ride with this France game, so make sure you're here for the end of it. About wraps it up for today's video. Make sure to leave any thoughts you have down below. Predictions for goals, how the game will end, will Isagi be the one to score? If you made it to the end though, thank you so much for watching as always. YouTube really thinks you like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one.